yourself overworked, whether as a seasoned professional or an entry-level employee? Putting in the hours, picking up side gigs, running on empty, all just to chip away at that looming loan debt? Yet somehow, it feels like you're stuck in quicksand. You're moving, you're trying, but the weight of that debt just keeps pulling you under.
Exactly, Steve. And just when you think you're catching a break, the interest rates climb higher. Relentless, never slowing. You ask yourself, why? Is it just poor planning? Did I make the wrong moves? But the truth is, loan struggles are often more complex than people realize. It's not always just about poor financial choices, and when you're caught in that cycle, it's not just your bank account that suffers.
Right, kid. Sometimes life throws you curveballs you couldn't have seen coming, like a sudden medical emergency or losing a job overnight. These are the things that can shatter even the most carefully laid plans. And then there are those silent villains, rising interest rates and the relentless compounding nature of debt itself. They create an overwhelming cycle that feels impossible to break.
This emotional toll is real. The anxiety creeps in. The sleepless nights multiply. Before long, that constant gnawing fear of falling behind becomes more than just a passing worry. It becomes your life. It chips away at you, piece by piece, until you start to feel trapped in a fog of frustration and doubt.
Exactly, and if that strain isn't managed, it can pull you into deeper issues, feelings of hopelessness, even depression. Most days, it feels like no matter how hard you push, you're always 2 steps behind. The burden becomes not just financial, but emotional, a shadow that follows you everywhere.
But here's the thing. There is hope. This video is here for anyone who feels like Alex did. There is a way to regain control of your finances and break free from the cycle of debt. The first step? Understanding why this struggle exists in the first place.
That's right, Kate. Once you grasp the hidden reasons behind financial hardship, you'll start to see that regaining control isn't just a dream. It's a journey that begins with knowledge and grows with action.
It's not just the big expenses that threaten our financial well-being. It's the overlooked, everyday costs that sneak up on us. Today, we'll hear from Alex, who learned this the hard way.
I started with basic expenses, living within my means. After working so hard and suddenly I got rewarded with a raise or bonus. Wow! I got it finally, I said to myself. I have worked so hard, I deserve to upgrade my life since I have got more money, so I thought that, and suddenly the increase was spent on new gadgets, upscale dinners, a fancier car and other lavish adventures. What started as a reward quickly becomes an expectation, and what was once a luxury transforms to necessity. At first, I thought I had everything under control. I budgeted for rent, utilities, and the major expenses I expected. It felt like I was playing it smart, but what I didn't see was the creeping tide of the everyday, the small purchases, the unplanned treats, the moments where I told myself, just this once.
They were so insignificant on their own that I never imagined the damage they could cause. But those small cracks started to widen. Suddenly, the money set aside for my loan repayments wasn't enough. Late payments became my new reality, and with them came mounting interest and relentless reminders that I was falling behind. The phone calls started, polite at first, but then more insistent, more pressing. I'd pick up the phone with my heart racing, the pit in my stomach growing heavier with every demand for payment I couldn't make. I remember one day vividly. I had to choose between paying for groceries or meeting a minimum loan payment. The shame I felt at the checkout line, counting every coin to make sure I could afford the basics, is something I'll never forget. And the sacrifices didn't end there. Friends invited me out, celebrations happened, but I always declined, not out of choice, but out of necessity. The isolation was stifling. Okay. Soon, the pressure became more than financial. The stress of unpaid bills seeped into everything, even my sleep. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, panicked, unable to shake the numbers that haunted me. And with each passing month, my debt felt more like a prison I had built, brick by brick, with every overlooked purchase. I wish I could say there was a moment of victory, a point where I turned it around, but that moment hasn't come. I'm still in that storm, still fighting to keep my head above water, still asking myself the same relentless question, how did I get here? And each time, the silence that follows is deafening.
Alex, thank you for opening up and sharing such a vulnerable part of your journey. It's a sobering reminder of how relentless financial strain can be.
To everyone watching, if you see yourself in Alex's story or have faced your own battle with hidden expenses and debt, share your experiences below. Your story could be the support someone else needs. It's amazing how fast things can spiral when you're managing loan repayments without a solid, realistic budget. At first, it feels manageable: your rent, your big bills, everything neatly accounted for. But what most people don't realize is that the devil is in the details.
You're right, Steve. We all tend to focus on the big numbers: the rent, the loan payment itself, utilities. But the real disruptors? It's the little things, the small, everyday purchases that sneak in unnoticed. Grabbing a coffee here, picking up a quick snack there, an unplanned rideshare when you're late. Each expense seems harmless in the moment, but they add up.
Exactly, Kate. Before you know it, those small expenses have silently eaten into the money you set aside to pay down debt. And then, when it's time to make that crucial payment, the funds just aren't there. What comes next? Cash flow problems, missed payments, late fees, and interest that starts to snowball out of control.
And once that cycle starts, the stress is relentless. You're playing catch-up every month, trying to claw your way back to stability, but feeling like you're slipping further behind. It's more than just a financial problem. It becomes a mental burden, too.
The key, though, is understanding what a true budget should look like. It's not just about scribbling down big numbers. A well-crafted budget needs to break your income into essentials, discretionary spending, and debt repayment. And you can't forget to plan for emergencies. That one unplanned car repair or medical bill can derail everything.
Absolutely. Budgeting isn't just a math exercise. It's a strategy for survival. Whether you do it manually or use an app with a detailed checklist, making sure you account for fixed and variable costs is essential. It's the only way to stay in control and out of the red.
And we want to hear from you. Have you ever thought you had your budget all figured out, only to find yourself coming up short? What strategies worked for you and which ones failed? Share your experiences below and help others navigate these challenges.
Because the truth is, learning from each other's stories can make all the difference. And sometimes, knowing you're not alone in the struggle is the first step toward getting back on track.
And to our viewers, have you ever managed to turn your situation around by confronting your debt head-on? Share how taking that first step made a difference. It might inspire someone who's feeling stuck.
And don't forget, if you have managed to turn your own situation around, let us know. Your story might inspire someone to take that brave first step.
No one has to face this alone. The truth is, with the right plan and support, becoming debt-free isn't just a distant dream. Whether you're young, navigating financial independence, or older and wanting relief from debt, there's hope.
If you're ready for more practical tips on creating a customized repayment plan or negotiating effectively with lenders, subscribe and leave a comment below. We're here to help guide you every step of the way toward financial peace. Whether you're young, old, or somewhere in between, living debt-free is possible for everyone. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Why You Cannot Pay Your Debt. Don't miss the second part of this series. It's packed with insights that could transform your financial story and help you break free from the burden of debt. Stay tuned.